Shout out Big Steve.
Hello friends, welcome to another episode of the Big Brain MMA pod. Episode, I have no idea, 134, UFC Louisville. We're going to watch some MMA, gamble on it, and try to make money like every week. Did we make money last week, the first week of June? No, we didn't, unfortunately. The streak comes to an end. It had to happen sometimes. It always happens. Alright, let's get into it, right? What do we do? So we started off with ACA, and it's a bit of a shame because I said I was going to focus on ACA. I had this feeling like it was going to be my Octagon and KSW, one of my top best promotions. And it makes sense that the week before that I went 1-1 for ACA, but everything I passed on, all the dogs, all the favorites, because I left it till last minute. I like to let some bets simmer. They all hit, would have gone like 6 or 7 out of 7. So yeah, I focused on it this week, and then just ended up being like the worst card to focus on. I still played bets and I got reverse swept. So first bet, what it was, I bet like George Gonzalez against Gazanov. It was basically paying $7 for a puncher's chance, but he got knocked out in the first round instead. Gazanov's not that good at all. The first fight I actually taped was Nikolai Alexakin. He was in PFL for Cooper, and I thought, they're giving him this Mirzabekov short notice upper weight class. And at first I thought he was going to kill him, and then I thought he was going to get grinded out because Mirzabekov actually looked pretty big at welterweight. He's grinded out some decent dudes, and Nikolai, traditionally loses. Once I saw that he lost the unanimous to Cooper and he wasn't a split, I'm like, he should be able to get wrestled here. But I didn't lock it in, right? Didn't lock it in, which is why I was annoyed this card. Josel Silva, I taped him too late. He was $2.20 plus 120 all week. Everyone's saying, I wish I had more dog odds, wish I had more dog odds. But at the time I taped him, I'm like, man, plus 120 is great. He shouldn't even be a dog. And then I went to lock the bet in and it's pick him. So he won a split, but he shouldn't have been a split. Then my first bet I actually played was Christian Brinzan. These two bums against Alex Moko. Alex Moko is completely washed, gets knocked out by everyone. Christian Brinzan, is just 10-9 now, almost 50-50. But, I was extremely impressed by his toughness, and he's knocked out, better guys than Makno. He ends up throwing a head kick, slips, falls down, and then, just gets grinded out. Loses the biggest, low eventful round 1. Round 2 almost knocks out Mako with a head kick. Proceeds to grind on him, some more takes him down. I was like, alright, whatever, if you're going to grind on him, at least win the round, which he did. And round 3, he just does nothing. I think he slipped again, and Marco came out grappling him, and he lost like a really, really underwhelming 29-28, when he really should have knocked this bum out. So that left a sour taste in my mouth. Then I played Galiev, a 48-year-old, believe it or not, yeah, they exist, against Pitao. I ended up thinking that Galiev actually looks less washed than Pitao. Pitao, has bad control. He was going to get takedowns, but Galiev had the finishing upside, KO upside. Pitao gets hurt a lot. He can't control many people. He just goes for a lot of takedowns. I thought Galiev would get up. He was in his hometown. There's a lot of shady stuff in ACA. I ended up getting plus 140. I thought that was a no-brainer. Galiev ends up winning round 1 easily. Stuffs all the takedowns. I'm like, this is a great bet. Round 2 gets taken down near the end and gets backpacked and has no get-ups, which annoyed me. And round 3 gets dropped with a no-look overhand by Pitao, and then gets backpacked again and just loses a 29-28. If he got up at least once out of that body lock, they probably could have given him a split, if he landed a couple of punches, which happened to him before. But yeah, just a annoying way to sweep the card, with my dogs winning and, my bets barely losing. So $2,000, 1 unit, no biggie. Then we had some boxing. I played Marquez on like this low-level boxing card the day before the big card to get a finish. Me and Dog were collaborating on it. And I played the under 6.5 rounds because it was an 8-round fight. I thought it was going to be early. And he didn't get it. It wasn't even close. And he almost lost the decision to a massive favorite. And then because it's this weird promotion, because it was a draw, it went to overtime, and I ended up getting my money back. So I dodged the bullet there. And then on the proper boxing card, the 5v5, Zhang versus Wilder, I played Zhang KO round 1 and 6. He got in round 5, and then I played Zhang one knockdown, $1.66. They obviously both hit. I won $750 there, almost half a unit. And then on the UFC, tough card, typical pay-per-view card. Just pass all around. I ended up donating a little bit on half SKO against Mickey Gall. He fought for it. He really wanted a KO. He wanted a KO so bad that he almost lost the decision. If he grappled a little bit more, he could have beat Mickey Gall much easier. So yeah, donate $200 there. Peanuts. Pass on the Matthews Rowe fight. Zero regret. Grant Dawson, I poked a little round 3 on Dawson to finish Selecki. I can't complain. He tried his hardest. Joe Selecki showed an elite guard retention game. Grant Dawson almost went to half guard a few times. Once he goes to half guard, it's over. But yeah, he couldn't do anything. And Joe Selecki, it's just absolute bum. If he's good at anything, he's just holding people between his legs. Jelton Almeida, I had Jelton 1 takedown. I had 1 takedown parlayed with Makachev 1 takedown on Neds. Yeah, and then last minute I got greedy and played Jelton Almeida 2 takedowns. I thought Romanov would get up once with his wrestling base. He showed it before, and then get instantly taken down again. Almeida had 3 against Shamil. Shamil got up a bunch of times in round 1, and yeah, because Romanov's such a bum, I threw away $500 there. Cesar Almeida, my only one and only moneyline bet. I got plus 120, $2.20. I didn't have a strong read. There was not much footage on his MMA striking, but obviously he's a high level kickboxer, and he did really well with the current champ just a year ago. So even though he's old, not much issues. I thought he was more durable. I thought his style works well against Kopylov, who's hittable, who hates calf kicks. Almeida was going to walk through his stuff, pressure him. And he did in rounds 2 and 3. Round 1, he was just way too reckless, and he got dropped by Kopylov. Luckily, he has his iron chin. But yeah, I mean, I did think Kopylov was going to get a takedown, just because... what's this? Where is this? Yeah, just the comments are distracting me, my bad. Giza, sound still not great, Steve. What's up with the sound? Is it too loud, or what's the go? Distorts when you talk louder. That's interesting. Where's my settings? Do I have settings in here? I do too. All right, let me fix this up. How about now? Does it sound better? Let me try. Alright, we'll try that. Let me know if it's better. Oh, so this light is fucking too light. Doesn't matter. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I made a loss. I did think it would get on takedowns, but I thought it would show a bit more get-ups, and I thought it would be the old damage versus control. I regret passing on Kopylov round 1. 1 takedown at minus 200. I mean, they came with ease. Pass on Randy Brown, pass on Nico Price Morona. A little bit annoyed. I thought Price had value, and I was going to do it after round 1, but, whatever. Pass on Holland submission. That was annoying. Played some Strickland overs and played some Makachev same game parlays. 500 on 1 takedown and submission, which came in clutch to win 1,000. His 1 takedown came in with Joe Almeida 1 takedown. I tried to max that, but obviously it's hard across multiple accounts. In the end, I was down thanks to the half-airs poke and down to 1,000 on Almeida and 500 on Jelton, 2 takedowns instead of 1 when I got greedy. But yeah, when Makachev came through and Sean Strickland overs came through, I ended up $400 profit. It would have been 1,300 if I didn't donate to half-airs and that greedy 2 takedown parlay on Almeida, and if I wasn't a pansy boy and actually played Holland sub, probably would have been a decent day. But it is what it is. With the Zhang boxing, better, but my volume is too quiet. Jesus. Anyone else? Give me some other. Is this just Giza being a pain in the ass, or is the mic actually annoying? All right, let's try this. All right. So yeah, 400 on the card, peanuts, and 700 with Zhang. So it leaves me $1,000 down with ACA. Not much. It is what it is. It's $1,000 down, half a unit. Plenty of time to get back. I mean, we can even get it back on one of these regionals, let alone the UFC. So let's get into it, shall we? Any comments to address? Lou Betcher, what's up? Always in here. Gaucho, hello, always in here. Always giving up his either soccer picks or hockey picks. Glambot, what's up? Hanging with the boys. Parky, that's it. Hanging with the boys. Rosa's going to turn heads this week. Yeah. Sounds at least half decent. It's not right. No idea. No idea what the case is. What about with the no headphones? Let me know. Alrighty, let's go to the first card. That's 10 minutes wasted on that. So first fight, Pooja Tuma, Ryan Amanda. Yeah, what to say about this fight? Pooja making her debut. You know, she's actually not that bad. She's got the aggression and power over Amanda. You know, I faded her against Talita Alencar last time because of those issues. But end of the day, you know, Talita Alencar had a high level ground game, which Pooja doesn't. That seems to be Pooja's issue. You know, she's been submitted every single time, or you know, ground and pounded by Stamp 4 years ago. You have to assume she's making some improvement. You know, from 26 to 30. You know, she's still at a crappy gym, but there has to be some improvement, right? But yeah, overall, you know, I get the steam on Amanda, but I would never lay her juice against anyone, especially when she's outmatched here on the physicality and the power. She obviously has the grappling upside. I thought about the under a plus money. You know, Pooja's like running through these girls. She's quite ferocious. She's got some good power. But what turned me off Pooja is she likes to grapple. And, you know, she probably should be really grappling with Amanda here. Amanda, back on her career, she has a lot of decent arm bars against lower level girls. So I don't think Pooja should be going into, you know, into her own weakness and Amanda's strength. So yeah, because of that, I just saw some red flags, and it's hard fight to get a read on. The under, you know, Amanda seems extremely durable. She ate some bombs from Denise Gomez on Contender, and you know, I thought I played the KO there. I thought she was going to get it, and it wasn't even close. She showed great durability, and at the same time, you know, she couldn't finish like 50-year-old the Corsi in 5 rounds, and she couldn't finish Kate Soul, who's 5-5. So yeah, I don't know. I think everything seems to be accurately aligned on this fight. So I'll move on. I know that submission is a popular play. What is that? Ryan Amanda, $3. Yeah, could do. It seems a little bit too obvious, but hey, sometimes you got to play the obvious ones. Alrighty, Cody Stamen versus Taylor Lapilus. Interesting fight. You know, the money's still going in on Taylor Lapilus, making him extremely decent sized favorite. Yeah, it's a dog a pass for me. It's a dog a pass. Not really interested in Lapilus at this price. You know, he can be taken down. He does get up, but both these guys are slim margins, and Cody's kind of like a bit washed to me. You know, he's always a decision machine. He's got good takedowns, not the greatest control, not the greatest power, but I do think his boxing's underrated. I thought he almost lost to Luan Lacerda on the feet. You know, I played Lacerda there, $3.60. So yeah, just slim margins for both of these guys, but I do think Lapilus, you know, a bit more in his prime. If anyone's going to finish, probably Lapilus via KO. But yeah, dog a pass. I don't have a strong take here. I might have to do some more tape, and if anything, I'll probably just be way too greedy and just go Stamen decision instead of moneyline, just because I do not see how he gets a finish. It's about $1.50 more. So yeah, that's one minus 200 favorite extra. So alrighty, let's move on. Overs are obviously juiced to the tits because everyone thinks it's going to go over. Makes sense. I'm just going to lower my light here a little bit, and then I'll continue on. Alrighty. Eduardo Mora versus Denise Gomez. Underrated. Eduardo Mora is a little bit underrated, if you know what I mean. She's a butch lesbo, but I don't know. She gets me going. She's got a bit of a badonkadonk going on. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, massive favorite here. Which, you know, it's a bit scary with her biggest step up in her career. They gave her literally the worst 2 fighters in, you know, Contender Series and the debut, on top of actually being massively bigger than them as well. But yeah, I mean, it's also a good matchup for her too, because Denise Gomez, her main issue is the grappling. She's young, she's a bit green. I faded her against Angela Hill because, you know, Angela Hill a lot more well-rounded, and she likes to clinch, and the wrestling was going to be there, even though she's not amazing at it. And I mean, she's quite clearly out-grappled by Loma Lookboonmee. And even when she gets on top, she does stupid stuff like going for arm bars and losing position. So it's one of those ones where I feel like Eduardo Mora, even while gassed, even if she gets into round 3, her one and only decision was a split. So that's always in the back of my mind. But does she gas? How can she go long? But yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones where Eduardo Mora can probably get into round 3 and still get takedowns because Gomez is so stupid and does rookie mistakes on the ground. Round 3, she actually got down Angela Hill somehow in round 1. I thought her takedowns were really bad, but against Angela Hill, she's quite massive. It's like this girl has a massive head and she seems to be growing in size and obviously has that power. So yeah, I think Mora gets takedowns early. It'd be hard to see her not to get it. She's quite physical. If Denise Gomez gets up or something in the first round and puts a bit of resistance, then yeah, I might be jumping on the live bet ASAP because I'm already kind of considering the dog, but I'm just kind of waiting. It's not one I have a passionate read about. I know the under 1 point. I mean, I do have a passionate read that it's kind of feels like a pass. It's something I want to see both. But I thought about the under plus money. Now it's pick'em, which kind of feels accurate. Mora or Denise Gomez either finish each other or they don't. It feels 50-50 to me. Mora does throw a good ground and pound. We've seen Gomez, end up in mount against a bunch of girls. Angela Hill, round 3, she just kind of couldn't get up. She was completely gassed. But even against Milana Dudieva, she was on bottom mount, eating a lot of ground and pound shots. But she kept moving, right? Gomez is tough. She's never been finished. So, she has been finished rear punch in 2017, but, whatever. That's 7 years ago, and she's 24, so make of that what you will. Yeah, I just feel like it's one of those ones, maybe Eduardo Mora decision, Gomez decision. There's a lot of ways this fight could go, so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to see how round 1 plays out. Mora usually misses weight. She has in the last one, so we'll see. My boy Subhuman, statement or pass, nothing for me. Can't imagine parlaying the fave there. No, you can't parlay the fave. That's decision machine. I think how he did against old mate Farid Basharat, it's what's making the line really good. Subhuman likes Gomez round 2, round 3, correct, or KO even. That could be a system play. But the thing is, Gomez tires out in round 3 as well. Look at her round 3 against Angela Hill. If anything, her best KO chance is probably in round 1. Or maybe round 2. Just depends. She got one over round 2 against Bruna Brazil. Yeah, those are good looks. Let me just check on Bet365 what we have. KO 450. That's probably a good way to play Gomez as well. Round 3 is $15. Round 3 KO. Ooh, $19. That could be the one, boys. Alrighty. Let's move on if I don't have any other comments. Feel like Denise is a dono. Alright, donation. Physicality is huge and everyone keeps fader, and I don't think this fight. Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to see some resistance from Mora, right? So we'll see. It's not as simple as that. Daniel Marcos versus John Castaneda. So this is strange. I have a bet nice and early here. And, I'll be honest, I don't really like it that much, which is pretty standard for me when I log bets in on Monday, which is why I usually wait till the end of the week when I've crossed my dots and T's. But yeah, this one, yeah, I mean, I taped it. A lot of people told me to tape the early Castaneda line at better plus money, which would have been an amazing bet. And me being me, I didn't want to move on until I'd done all the regionals that week, and I always focus on the week at hand. And so I missed that beautiful plus money. I got barely plus money, but then I locked in the rest of my unit size on Castaneda at Pick'em. So I do have Castaneda. And what it came down to is, I think he has a lot of advantages. I think the level of competition, the wins, the experience in the UFC, the power, even switcher stances, the wrestling, volume, and then he even has the intangibles like I think ungodly durability and cardio, which I already mentioned. The issues is quite hittable, and Daniel Marcos has a really good round 1 while fresh. The cleanest striker, it can be said, no doubt about it. Which is why I'm kind of second guessing if I do have a good bet at Pick'em. If you look at it the standard way, on the first layer of breaking down fights, you can say Daniel Marcos round 1 being the cleaner, better striker, and Castaneda is quite hittable, and you can give Castaneda round 3 because round 3 is his best round, and Marcos usually has a horrible round 3 when he gets there. And then round 2, ends up being a pick'em. So it's a pick'em if you look at it that way, but if you look at it in the way that I looked at it when I locked the bet in, and I gave John, 55 to 60%, it's, John, many ways to win the fight, volume, cardio, he's knocked out, he's dropped a lot of people, he's finished a lot of people, he's got submissions, he's got KO power as well. He shows smarts, when he's losing, when a fight's competitive, he goes to his wrestling, he can get many takedowns, even though his control's not the best, he can return you 2-3 times in the third round. And level of competition as well. So in that kind of way, I had to give Castaneda at least slight favorite because he's at least proven to me against many different fighters. And apparently he's gone full time as well. My friend got me on it by saying he's full time only recently, only before the Kang fight, and he only started doing proper boxing training before the Kang fight, and he fell in love with his hands. So I think at 32, this guy's always been good on the regionals, and now at 32, he's kind of leveling up in the UFC. And Marcos, I thought was quite good, but Brandon Lewis is horrible. Simon Oliveira horrible. Davey Grant is not, and had won a split, and he won. He was winning that Richie Lang fight, but they gave him a punching bag with a bad chin, and he really should have knocked him out there. I played KO, and KO was playing. It was like 3 out of 10 times, and I thought he had at least four something times chance to KO Richie Lang because he's so hittable, and just extremely low pace fight. So if Castaneda does well in round 1, it's competitive, and he wins it, then I think the bet will look good. But other than that, I'm gonna go back and do really, really deep tape and see whether I reduce, because I have a full unit on Castaneda, and I feel like there's probably fights with better value, to be honest. But if he wins round 1, then the bet's going to look great. I think Marcos is going to slow down like usual, and he needs a decision. So 1 unit on Castaneda, and I'll circle back around. I'll see whether I reduce or not. Glimbot thinks Jono round 2, round 3, also the sub. Yeah, I mean, you seem to love going back to the well with those. It's just Marcos does have good get-ups, that's the thing. Don't have the strongest read, but it's cast. Have the money line probably there. Yep. Glimbot 3.5 units on Castaneda. Jeez. Hopefully you don't have just win baby size units. You can win some good money there. Alrighty. Andrea Lee, Montana De La Rosa. Yeah, what am I going to say here? I'll be honest. I did not want to take this fight. It was going to be a fight that wasn't going to make the cut this week just because of all the regionals, and it still made the cut because I wanted to have some sort of read before doing the podcast. Ultimately, I watched the first fight, which I watched it a bunch of times, and I always think Andrea Lee, a little bit fortunate to win. She's taken down like 5 or 6 times over the 3 rounds, and that's something that's never improved. Her takedown defense still just as bad as then, if not worse. She's 35 now. I think she's a bit more washed. Montana De La Rosa was young there. Now she's 29. Yes, she's on a 3-fight losing streak, but I mean, come on. Macy Barber, really close, 29, 28. Tatiana Suarez, I thought she did all right until getting guillotine choked. Better than I expected, to be honest. And JJ, JJ, they were training partners. JJ is just, if you can't take JJ down, if you're a wrestler that can't take JJ down, and you don't have like power or physicality, then that's just an awful matchup for you. And that was an awful matchup with De La Rosa. She couldn't take her down, and she gets busted up. She always bleeds. That's why she lost to Andrea Lee in the first time. She hit like 3, 4, 5, 6 takedowns, I think. I haven't checked the stats, but there was a lot. And and Andrea Lee, kind of stumbled around 1 and then just busted her up in rounds 2 and 3. She got on top, and she won, I think, 30, 27, 29, 28. But now she just kind of looks a bit more washed. So Montana's going to hit takedowns again, right? She's a wrestler by trade. She still gets bloodied up in every single fight. So Andrea has the striking advantage, and Montana has the grappling advantage, and it's just who's more washed, right? I've seen people think Montana's washed as well, but she will throw down. And, only one of these girls has a really good win in the last 4 fights, and that's Montana De La Rosa. Ariana Lipsky, who's currently streaking, and the draw versus Buena Silva, who, was the champ before Rocky came. They fought, she fought for the championship. So, yeah, man, it's De La Rosa or pass, and she's also an underdog. So, De La Rosa or pass, but I'm just not rushing to pay anything at the moment. yeah, I thought Andrew Lee looked like absolute shit versus Maverick in the last fight. But she was sick, so you never know. Local pass, let's move on. Waste any time on this. Speaking of not wasting any time, I'm not even going to bring this fight up. Brad Katona, Jesse Butler, Katona, massive favorite. He probably wins. He's always minus EV, but every time I break his fights down, I do say that he's really good at winning fights. Minus EV plus EV, say what you will. Comes down to, do you think Jesse Butler has any value? He's not, the worst fighter. Obviously, short notice, upper weight class against Jim Miller. When you're kind of flimsy, kind of chinny, it's a tough task you got ran through. But yeah, Brad Katona is a step down. He's also dropping down to bantamweight. I see a lot of people, freaking out. Oh, he's dropping down 3 weight classes. Can he even make it? I mean, he's a featherweight. Calm down. He's a featherweight, and he's dropping down to bantamweight. That's it. He's dropping down 1 weight class. The UFC debut was upper weight class because it was short notice, but it's not 3 weight classes. I'm just having a look if he's ever fought a bantamweight. No, doesn't look like it. But hey, if he's dropping down, he must think he can make it. So he's a skinny guy. He's going to look like a rake out there. But he's going to have a big size advantage. But yeah, I have no strong takes here. I have no stroke takes. It's just Brett Katona, maybe round 2, round 3. But taping it, I didn't come out with thinking that I want to lock anything in. He's probably going to win the decision. Alrighty, finally up to a good fight. Quite a good fight. And I do have a bet here, which, you can't really tell, unfortunately, because I did one of I played the early bet online totals. So Charles Radke, Carlos Prater. I played both of these guys in the last fight. One was a decent size underdog against Sabina, looked amazing, and the other one, Carlos Prates, a big size favorite, and I played 2 units on him, almost $4,000 against Trevin Giles. And look, I broke down the fight perfectly. Say what you win about the fight, about that being a shit bet, but I said Giles is probably going to crack him, and he's probably going to take him down. He's hittable, this kid, Prates, and he can be taken down. And Giles usually does well against everyone because he's so athletic and fast. But I just said there's no way Giles is winning a 15-minute decision against Prates. Prates was going to KO him either round 1 or 2. And that's what happened. So, I sweated a little bit, but end of the day, I didn't want to pass up on maybe the last Giles fade we get. I don't know if it's the last. I think Giles would get one more chance. I think he beat that bum in his last. So yeah, I think Prates, does that. He starts slow and he just finds the kill shot. That straight hand is a kill shot. And on the other side, Radke also has the left check hook, which is super, super clean. I think Radke is super well-rounded, great boxing. I went deep into his tape when looking to fade Urbina. My boy Pepper was on a podcast, and I said, if this is either a massive bet at dog odds or it's, half a unit bet because I can't get a read, and ended up being a massive bet. Just absolutely ran through him. He's also training full-time now, so we're going to see a lot of improvements. The only issue is his wrestling is really, really bad, right? So that's the issue here. So yeah, I think he's going to have to stand with Carlos Prates for a lot of the time, and even if he's going to land something, he's going to be at the mercy of the teeps and the kicks. I played the under 1.5 here at plus 160. It was they released the odds a bit early. I was up, and statistically, I lose. I lose these unders without tape when I go on my memory. The last one I won was Medic versus what's his name, Tim Means, but I've been losing a bunch. I've been losing Brahimaj under, because I thought he correlates with his under. I lost the Bruno under against Weidman. Just these ones where he correlates with one guy getting the finish and the other one not. I've been losing him recently, so I think there's a bit of a similarity with this one. I think if anyone's going to finish under 1.5, I think it's Prates. I think he has the death touch. I've seen Radke hurt badly. Not badly, but he got hurt bad by Raheem Forrest in round 1. I've seen him rocked by this other 5 and 6 bum. I think it was Hernandez, whatever his name is, in round 2. He wobbled. Obviously, he got knocked out by Jacob Montalvo. These are all the things that I saw when playing him against Urbina, so I only went half a unit. But yeah, I think this could potentially show its ugly head again. If anyone, and I do think Prates is someone that can KO anyone. So I played, $750 on the under. Obviously, it was $500 limits. And I could have added more at $2.50. I thought there's no way this, I did the tape and I was like, there's no way people are going to do this tape, and this isn't going to come in a lot, so I can arb out. But I'm protecting my bankroll. I didn't have that much money to go big, and there's like 2 regionals days before UFC, so I wanted to save it for that. But yeah, now it's come in. It's still plus money. It's still plus money. The only way I see this kind of gets burnt is if Radke grapples a bit. There's a lot of cage push. When he fought Mike Mathetha, he cage pushed, so that was obviously a striker, and he's obviously gonna. I think when he feels some body kicks and some knees from Carlos Prates, he's gonna grapple him. Can Prates get knocked out? I mean, he got finished in a lot of his early fights. One was a KO, but he was a young kid. A lot of them were subs, and they were 10 years ago. So from now till 10 years later, you can go from white belt to black belt. So who knows? His jiu-jitsu seems decent. His last fight was a decision loss to a really good grappler in ONE FC, and he survived. So yeah, it's definitely a dog or pass. I don't really feel strong playing Prates at the exact same line as he was against Giles. It's a lot easier to play that juice line against Giles. I think Radke is quite decent, and he even hurt Mark Mathetha with that check hook round 2. It would have been under 1.5 rounds if he finished him. So yeah, I keep going around in circles. I can't play Radke just because of that hit ability. I was scared against Urbina, but I think it's a lot more dangerous against Prates. So I think Prates will perform a bit better compared to Giles as well. I think it's easier to handle like a standard boxing style than someone like Giles, who has his hands low and has a really good jab and just swings out of nowhere. So yeah, dog or pass, but no interest. Just have that under. I see the under 2.5 is pretty generous, but minus 200. I generally lose them when I force those bets. What do we got? Let's see if it's moved. It's actually improved. $1.57. Maybe. I mean, I do feel if I lose my under, it's probably going to lose at the second half of round 2. Prates has a lot of round 2 KOs, and they're a little bit later in the fight, so under 2.5 covers it. Steve, I'm 100% agree that Eduardo Mora is underrated. 100%. She has a booty on her. What else we got? If Montana has 4 minutes of cage push and few nonsense takedowns, she could win a nonsense decision. Correct. Let's focus on the skills, not the looks, guys. Come on, mate. It's good to have a bit of fun. Radke round 1, round 2. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Thiago Moises, Ludovic Klein. This is an interesting fight. At this point of time, I don't have a strong read. I see people playing Ludovic Klein at slight favorite. I don't think the line has moved much. Let me have a look. On Bet365 now, it's almost a pick'em. So people are playing it, but it's not moving much. Obviously, it's getting some buyback. And I agree. I think these guys are similar levels. I think they're just under the ranking, and they will pretty much smash anyone not UFC ready, and they'll smash some good guys in the UFC too. For example, Moises ran through Giagos and Costa on short notice, and Ramirez is not UFC level, and Ludovic Klein as well. But Ludovic Klein, he's the better striker, but he still has those issues. He has those issues with the ground game, and he has the issues with grappling, which is we've seen it against Jai Herbert. He really should have lost that fight, and Jai Herbert is extremely chinny. He should have lost that fight, and because Herbert lost the stupidest point, I lied bet him before that point, super tilting experience. He didn't lose that point. He went to 29-28. And it's kind of had this. He has like flakiness about him, and they both do. We've seen Moyes flake before, get knocked out by Benoit Saint-Denis, and he'll mix in takedowns, which makes me stay away from playing the juice on Klein. He was taken down. He will go for his own takedowns as well. But yeah, Thiago Moises, if he gets your back, man, is a different kind of level, and we've seen Ludovic Klein submitted a bunch. He was submitted famously by a big underdog in Nate Langway, and back in the day, he was submitted by Aiden Lee, 5 years ago, who has a really good rear naked choke. So we'll see. I don't have any strong takes. I've been talking a lot about some other fights, so I'm going to move on from this one. The under is plus money, interesting. I think these guys are quite competitively and well matched. And I also do kind of feel like he goes to a decision. So because Thiago Moises doesn't push the pace like Nate Landwehr to break him. Klein will slow down, but yeah, you got to break him. And he's also quite low volume. He'll stay outside, look to throw the kicks, the teeps. Obviously, when you're a punching bag like AJ Cunningham, he's going to run through you, but Moises will, kind of stay safe. So it seems like a competitive, accurately lined fight. So let's move on. Punahele Soriano versus Miguel Baeza. Oh, this is red flag after red flag. I'm sure everyone's mentioned that before, but you can't be avoided. Punahele, just an absolute bum. Absolute bum. It hurts my head how much of a bum this guy is and how much money I've lost on this guy. When I fade him with my boy Dushko Todorovic, he knocks him out, and I think he would have lost that for sure if he got out of round one. When I play him at minus 200 against Maximov, he loses a split, which I thought he would clearly win, damage versus control. And then I pass against Dalcha because he was a big-ass favorite, and then I thought Kopilov was an amazing dog shot, and then I get convinced to play him, and he gets just destroyed, and and then I even played one takedown against Stolfus, and he couldn't even get that, and I lost my ass. But he's a bum. He's a bum. He just loads up. He's only got one overhand left, and he just gasses, and he's no jabs, no nothing. But on the other side, we've got Miguel Baeza, who's also an extremely flaky, untrustworthy guy. Whenever he goes to a decision, he starts to slow down. He lost to Ponzinibbio, a washed chinny Ponzinibbio. Maybe he wasn't as washed 2 years and 11 months ago, but regardless, he should have ran through Ponzinibbio. He had a really big round one. Beat the crap out of Ponzinibbio, and he let him back into the fight. Knocked out by Chaos Williams, whatever it is, what it is. And then knocked out by Andre Fiala. The only differences between two fighters is instead of losing all this money on Soriano, I've actually been making a lot of money fading Baeza. So I faded him against Chaos Williams, and I faded him against Fiala round 1 KO, $7.50. I still remember that bet and the exact odds I had on it. I guess it's live here again, Soriano round 1 KO, but I just don't trust it. I don't think Soriano even hits as hard as someone like Fiala. Fiala has a lot more heavy hands and a lot more technical boxing. Soriano is just going to duck his head down and wing. I thought about the under 1.5 here. I haven't even looked at it, but after tape, I kind of got off it. What do we have? Oh, wow. It's almost plus money. It's almost plus money, but even still, I think it's just tempting because I got off it because on the Baeza side, the dude doesn't really have any finishes under 1.5. He knocked out Brown, extremely washed and chinny, but he got dropped himself there too. He couldn't knock out extremely chinny Fiala. Whoops. That was like the only guy that couldn't knock out Fiala in round one on his current, 7-fight losing streak. Couldn't knock out a washed Ponzinibbio. Couldn't knock out Sato, right? He almost went to round 3 until he started grappling, and he instantly ran through him with the submissions. He went over 1.5 against Hector Aldana. It was pretty much a calf kick KO. So yeah, he's too patient. He's too skirts on the outside. So I don't really trust his finishing upside for the under 1.5. Although I do think Soriano is live to kill him in the under 1.5. Even though I also don't trust him. I thought he would do it to Stolfitz, and he just just let everyone down, including myself. So yeah, this fight, it's still a clear dog or pass for me. I think Soriano dropping down. What is it to say? Who knows how he's going to look at welterweight? Who knows if he's going to be patient like he was against Stolfitz? You'd think he wouldn't be. And then Miguel Baeza left for like 2 years and he's just grappling. So you can kind of assume he's going to grapple. I used to think Soriano had good takedown defense, but now I don't believe anything anymore after how easily got taken down by Kopilov and Stolfitz and easily submitted. I also think he's a flake. Stolfitz had his back and he gave that chin up. He let him sink under the chin, which means he just didn't want to be in there at all. I think Baeza has high level submissions we just haven't seen, other than the Sato fight. So yeah, it's just a fight with so many questions. If anything, I'll play the under 1.5, the under 2.5. It's not too bad, but who finishes this fight if it gets into round 3? Like I'm just not sure. But yeah, dog or pass. I might just bite the bullet and play Soriano because I'm really not impressed what I saw for Baeza. I don't understand why people steam this all the way to minus 200. I don't know which fight you watched of Baeza that made you go, yes, I'll lay the chalk. So maybe just a question for you guys out there. All right, let's move on to another bum fight. Jesus. If anything, this card will at least be a lot more entertaining than the pay-per-view last week. Made me fall asleep. Alrighty, let me just go through the comments. They're piling up. Klein all day. Interesting. Klein is a bit special. Physical beast, I mean, he's definitely not special. He might be special in a different term. Very minimal juice. Good spot. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do more tape on the Klein fight. Puna is completely unreliable. Think it's Dustin, but I won't get there. Karina over seems reasonable. What are we talking about? Katona. Thoughts on Miguel Sanson? Bum. Absolute bum. Reyes sucks. Why won't you get there? Well, we'll get there, mate. Take it easy. Julian Marquez versus Zach Reese. So, yeah, bum fight, as I mentioned. I see a lot of people really want to fade Reese. They're saying he's a bum, but I don't know. I don't think he is at all. I think he is green and he's untested, but I don't think he's bad per se. I don't think he's a fraud by any means. Halfway through his tape, I immediately locked in his money line at slight minus money on Contender Series, and I thought, when I went back through the record and I saw Wiki capped it, and I saw they didn't really find anyone good. I got a little bit of regret, and some sharp people that I know started jumping on Eli Aronov's side, and in the end, my gut ended up being correct. He can pull guard, he can be hit, but he's very green. That stuff happens when you're very green. He's 30 years old and he's fought a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times since 2021. So he has a lot of fights in a short period of time, but even like gym time, his first fight was 2012. Even gym time is probably not much. Cage time is not much. So he's only going to improve. So hopefully fix his mistakes. But in terms of size, power, aggression, he does seem to have really good jiu-jitsu. Back takes, good front chokes. He will go for him and give up top time, which is not ideal. But yeah, he's younger. He's less washed. If anything, I'm feeling dog or pass here. I know a lot of people on Julian Marquez, but one of them said, one of the guys that I respect said, Marquez has a high level of competition, but I mean, who's this high level of competition? Sam Alvey, Maki Pitolo, Alex DiCirico. This guy doesn't have a good win in the UFC. Flat out does not have one good win in the UFC. I remember some people taking a dog poke on him against Marquez because RoboCop, because RoboCop is chinny. And I remember I went taped it and I felt like playing the juice because I'm like, there's just such a difference in speed and power between the two. Marquez just swings bungalows. I think his power is overrated and he's slow. And yeah, constantly getting injured. There's like a lot of injuries. Even the Chirico fight where he lost, he tore his pec and he just gets injured during the fights and bad takedown defense. I think if Reese wants to take him down, he can. He gives up his back. I know my boy Dog played the under 1.5. I really wanted to get to it at minus money, but I couldn't, just because I think I can't trust Marquez. Marquez has a lot of these guys going over 1.5. Pitolo, who's chinny. Sam Alvey was 30 seconds away from going over. The Chirico. Darren Stewart, 20 seconds away from going over. Phil Hall is 10 seconds from going over 1.5 rounds. A lot of these are club and subs as well. He's front choking Darren Stewart after he's completely gassed. But yeah, it could look value. We see Reese is extremely aggressive, and he's also gotten finished the one time. He didn't get finished by Kevin Holland back in 2012. That's his only other loss. But yeah, the other thing I was considering is Reese and Marquez by sub. Fight ends in sub. Maybe someone can tell me what that is, but I don't really know. But yeah, the way this fight goes, I'm not too sure. A lot of people saying Reese hasn't been out of round 1 or round 2, but Marquez has horrible cardio, man. So who cares if he gets out of round 1 and 2? Like, there's a chance that Reese is probably better, has more cardio. When he ran into round 2 on his amateurs, just finished him near the end of round 2. So who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, I'm definitely thinking of laying the slight plus money on Zach Reese instead. But you could look like an idiot, but it's not like Julian Marquez is someone that has a cohesive 3-round game anyway to take advantage of a gas Reese. It's not like he's going to take him down and sit on him for 15 minutes. Right? He's just going to go out there and look to brawl. So yeah, Reese will pass for me. And yeah, I wish I could have played the under, but Cuban Missile Crisis move to the lab. Yeah, I get it, but still a bum. Over 1.5 should be safe with Puna. He doesn't fade till round 2. Yeah, no way in hell I can play the over 1.5 in that fight with 2 chinny guys and flaky guys. At minus money as well. Julian Zach fight ends by sub. Oh, that is horrible. Plus 175. That is disgusting. Yeah. Like most of Julian's finishes are by sub and most of Reese's are by sub, but both are also good grapplers, so I don't know if they can be sub, you know what I mean? Reese is a purple belt and Marquez, showed good sub defense, but he does give his back a lot, so it's a tough fight. Tough fight. There are rumors of Julian being undisciplined in camp, no specific source. Well, I believe that. It makes sense because his cardio sucks so bad. Oh, we still got a lot to go. Bruno Ferreira, Dustin Stolfus. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a Dustin Stolfus believer. He's slow, he's plodding. He fights like a washed heavyweight. He's hittable and just gets really, really tired. He does have a good chin, I'll give him that. He does have bad takedown defense as well. So, yeah, I think Bruno has a lot of advantages over him early. He's younger. Not by much, 31 years old. I thought he was much younger, actually. I think he can KO anyone in the division. That's what I've seen from constantly taping him on the regionals and his few fights in the UFC. I think he has a good grapple background. He's a black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu, which will nullify Dustin. The one time he was taken down by Robocop, he just showed extreme, explosiveness to cover his back and stand up without getting backpacked. I think Dustin, if he's going to get anything, he might have to be really, really late. Just kind of survive like he survived against Puna and, just bring it on. But I don't think Ferreira is anywhere near as flaky as Puna. I don't think it's even close. I think Ferreira is going to have a good career in the UFC. The under correlates with Ferreira. He's never been over 1.5. Do I think he's going to finish? It's hard to tell because I do think Stolfus has a really good chin despite being hittable. Even when Abus killed him, that front kick to the face would have killed people cold, and he didn't even drop him. And then he had another clean uppercut which dropped him, and then the follow-up shots put him out, but he wasn't even out cold. He was just flash knocked out, and he came back and started wrestling the ref. So I do think this guy has an ungodly chin. So, the under at minus money just kind of scares me. If I really want to force it, I would probably force Ferreira around 1 and 2. But, yeah, he's just small and he's short and his shots are kind of, unpredictable. So, I mean, Phil Hall's almost made it to round 2 with him. And so did Robocop, 2 chinny guys. But when he hits them, they go out cold. They absolutely die. And I do think Leon Aliu on Contender Series is quite durable and he put him out as well. But it's just one of those ones. How much value? How much value? I wish he fought someone a little bit more chinnier, and then I would have hammered the under. But yeah, don't feel like parlaying him or anything. I think it's just, or maybe I would parlay him actually. I take that back, but we'll see. We'll see how desperate I am. But yeah, dog or pass, I guess, and I would just live bet Stolf. It's not forcing anything. I don't know why people are really, really eager to fade Bruno Ferreira. I don't think it's that bad, but maybe it's just me. Alrighty. Got any more comments? I don't want any part of Soriano Baeza. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus for that fight. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Ricky Tercios. A rematch. I haven't retaped this since the original fight. I know the original fight I kind of felt weird at elevation and, I thought for sure Rosas was going to get takedowns and he was going to maul Ricky early. I think this is a step down from Rosas' only loss, Christian Rodriguez. I don't think Ricky even gets close to that level. He's weak and he's not physical and he can be taken down. He can be mauled. His wins are usually splits against Brady, split against Kevin Intimidator, who's been cut. Lost to Zahabi, which I don't think it's as bad of a loss as we think anymore. But yeah, I think if this gets to round 3, it could potentially be Tercio's chance to come back and win a split. But who knows? He could be 2 rounds down. He could be getting backpacked. Could be getting mauled by Rosas. Rosas is underrated. Again, another kid that everyone is really, really eager to fade. But yeah, this is a fight I'm going to watch. Maybe play Rosas in some capacity. I'll definitely play his takedown props like Jalton Almeida. Last time this fight was scheduled, the takedown props were really generous, like the Makachev and Jalton fight. So hopefully that's the case, and hopefully I don't lose any money by being greedy. But yeah, keeping it safe. Checking in to say Rosas bonks him. Yeah, I don't take that read. I think a lot of people ever since he knocked out Mitchell, I think even Pepe is jumping on that KO prop, but yeah, not for me. I think Tercios is durable. Alrighty. Dominic Reyes, Dustin Jacoby. I did not tape this fight at all, just because I knew if I taped it, I'll be tempted by Dominic Reyes. It's a clear dog or pass. I've been a Jacoby hater for a while now. Yes, I played him in his early UFC fights, but I knew to jump off. Khalil Roundtree, Mazzucano, all favorites. Alonzo Menafield, all losses as a favorite, and he couldn't even beat what's his name, Kudalaba. He's extremely hittable, hands low. He's 36 now. I think he's a bit washed. So I don't think this is the worst fight for Dominic Reyes. He's quite washed. But getting knocked out by Jiri and Jan means nothing, man. And even getting knocked out by Ryan Spann means nothing. Ryan Spann can kill anyone. I believe Ryan Spann could possibly kill Dustin Jacoby. So, yeah, dog or pass. Maybe I'll get to it, but yeah, it's just how brave you are and what your risk management is on betting washed fighters. But I think Dustin Jacoby is definitely washed himself. So let's move on. Actually, let's look at over-unders. What's the over-unders here? Ooh, actually, some good overs in Ricky Tercio's fight too. Dustin Jacoby. The over 2.5 in Reyes Dustin is plus money. Maybe. Alrighty, main event: Jared Cannonier, Nasruddin Imavov. No strong takes originally. This just reminds me of Jared Cannonier, Nasruddin, and Vittori, which was kind of a similar line around Pick'em, and everyone had their own strong takes, and I just couldn't get a read. And 5 rounders, these competitive middleweights, I usually pass. Kind of like Strickland, Cannonier, that played out Pick'em, and the only one I really had a strong read was Strickland versus Imavov because I thought it was a levels fight. But yeah, I think Imavov's improving. I've been a hater of his. I am coming around. I watched that Dolidze fight for the first time the other day because I was doing my competition when it was playing out, and yeah, I thought he almost finished in round 1, but then it was just the typical Imavov again, where he makes mistakes and he gasses out and he does stupid crap. So I think in a 5-rounder that suits Jared, right? He comes on strong, really strong. His last 2 wins, Sean Strickland via split and Marvin Vittori, it's quite good, man. And even Adesanya was unanimous, but he was competitive enough. Adesanya is really hard to get off on. I did think he was a bit lucky against Gastelum. He kept getting big moments, kept dropping him. Otherwise, he was down on the volume. But yeah, you got the whole 40-year-old narrative and this and that. If anything, now that I've done the tape, I've done a flip-flop, and now that the money's come in, I want to play Imavov at favourite. I do think he's going to have the better footwork. He's going to be faster, a lot faster actually. He's going to have the better defense, better chin. Cannonier gets hurt a lot. Vittori, Strickland, Adesanya, Brunson, Gastelum. He gets hurt a lot, and then hope for the best. Hopefully, Imavov doesn't completely fall apart, so I don't have to jump out and lie bet Cannonier. But if he gets a finish, yeah, that's live too. I think Vittori, for example, is quite washed himself. I think Imavov showed that he can grapple as well. He grappled with Roma and took him down. Wasn't scared to go there. A completely gassed and dead Vittori started to grapple Cannonier a bit late. So I think Imavov has that up his sleeve as well. So yeah, I'm feeling Imavov, slight chalk. I just feel like he's going to have the much better round 1 and 2. And then I'll just go from there. That's if I want to force it, but we'll see. Unders are tempting. I do think, Imavov never been finished. I do think he's extremely, extremely durable, and he also rolls with the punches on top of that. I've never really seen anyone hurt him. He's taken shots from Edmund, from Buckley, Strickland, Curtis, Dolidze, Phil Hawes. Yeah, I know people saying, who has really been able to punch him and see if he has a good chin, but all these guys are hard hitters. So, but I guess, Cannonier is a different level. Yeah, no strong takes, but Imavov will pass, and I'm kind of warming up to it. Maybe I play it. We'll see where the line goes. And I might look at the under. Might look at the under, although I do think both these guys are durable and tough. Alrighty, what do we have? Ricky has some wins already against guys with wrestling base. Yeah, but yeah, so I taped that fight with Agueda, and he did stop some takedowns early from Agueda, and I just have to remind myself with Brady Highstein, my issue is he jumps for subs. He dives on triangles, he dives on guillotines. And Rosas is really positionally sound. Like he's good at passing, he goes to half guard, he goes to back takes. Yeah, I don't know. Brady Hayes is an aggressive wrestler, but Rosa can take back whatever. Rosa is just starting. Yeah. Heiston is also extremely chinny and extremely gassy. Gassier than Rosas before anyone says anything. Imavov, more pass, has the youth factor. Yeah, I agree, but it could also be a levels fight. You know, Cannonier has beaten the better guys. Molotov Money, what's up, sir? Alrighty, let's go through this card and get out of here. I honestly thought I'll be quicker today. Pooja, Amanda, no interest whatsoever. Maybe Amanda sub. Stamen, Lapidus, clear dog or pass. Stamen decision. Mora Gomez, I'm just going to lie bet Gomez. Maybe I come around on her. Maybe KO props would be good. Castaneda versus Daniel Marcos. I have a unit on Castaneda at a pretty shitty line at Pick'em. I'll circle back around to see if my read is right. Andrea Lee, De La Rosa, clear dog or pass. Brad Katona, Bartlett, just pass all around. Radke, Prates, I have the under 1.5, not even half a unit at plus 160. Hopefully it hits. No strong takes. I think Prates is live to KO Radke. Other than that, there should be some value. It's dog or pass. Klein, Moses, pass. Can't get a read as of yet. Soriano Baeza, I'm considering the under, and it's a clear dog or pass. Marquez Reese, dog or pass, I guess, but Reese is, barely a dog. Ferreira, Stolfus. I would lie best Stolfus, but I think Ferreira has him covered early. Rosas, Tercios. Lie bet Tercios if he makes it to round 3. Play some takedown props. Reyes, Jacoby, easy dog or pass. Cannonier, Imavov, I'm leading Imavov. Yeah, that's it. It is what it is. I can't even give you some good regionals. There's a lot. There's been, I've had a really busy week. That's why this is late. But I'm going to get straight off, jump off, get on it, finish the KSW. I played some parlays. I played Oscar and that guy fighting a Serbian bum. And what can I say? I'm gonna get through taping, and if you're following me on Twitter, BigSteve, on my Sherdog, or if you're in the Discord, if you're not, jump in, and I'll put all the bets in there. But there's a lot of work to be done. Start off with KSW, finish off, lock in some bets, and then we'll go into Cage Warriors, go into LFA, and hopefully we make some money. All right, I'm not overly confident in Castaneda, so hopefully I find some locks to turn around this $1,000 deficit. But that's nothing. That's nothing. I'm hoping for a big June. So I can get to close to $30,000. And have a really good year. I'm getting married in February, so I need a lot of money. So if you want to sign up to the Discord and just pay my bills for a few months, that'll be great. More unders than the last pay-per-view. Well, correct. You can't be wrong there. What's funny is they removed the one fight that ended up being a finish. They removed it from the main card. It's hilarious. How much is your Discord? It is 50 Australian dollars a month. So that is 30 US. But it's not for my picks. It's a place where there's a bunch of sharps. There's this is the first time I'll talk about it in 6 months. There's a bunch of sharps. There's it runs 24/7. There's KSW people from Poland. They always have the inside info. There's Czech people, Slavish people. They always have insight on Octagon fighters. I can always ask him, do you know anything about this fighter? How's he been training? It's cool, man. I only have my bets in there because someone asked me because they wanted to tell me. But honestly, I use it to talk to people. Pierce is in there. Dave, who people don't know, he's from Denmark. He's a really sharp fellow. Parky's in there. He was in the chat from Scotland. He's a really sharp fellow. And just a bunch of other dudes that you won't know. I think the sharpest people are the ones that you don't know. That they don't have Twitter, they don't have YouTube, and they just stick to gambling and they do their thing. And you got the well-known people. You've got Lou in there, Sando, Ube. Yeah, a lot of people in there. Chad is in there. So yeah, it's just a good place, man. And when people post their favorite bets of the week, the other sharps in there, I take it seriously and I tape the fight to see if there's value. And it just helps out a lot when there's like 50 fights on the week. I can just focus on those. But yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll post some regional bets hopefully so we can make some money. AVMD, any regional bets? I literally just addressed it, mate. I gotta go back to work and tape. Cares the AMC shows are good. Correct. If I had more time, I would break down the regional shows, but yeah, I'm a busy man. A lot going on right now. Alrighty, if you do want to subscribe, it's in my bio and it's in the Twitter bio, and it's at the end of every YouTube video, so at the start. All right, peace out. Good luck on your bets.